Okay, I think I'm recording. Okay, so you can unmute yourself once we get towards the end, where you may want to ask some questions. But I first want to just tell you guys that honestly, the pictures of Hawaii, of all the jewels that were there, myself included, they really did not do Maui any justice. Last year was my first year going to Hawaii, period. But it was my first year going to Hawaii on Plexus's dime, and we went to Kona. And Kona is it's Volcano Nation. It's like tons of lava rock. It's on the big island, and it's a really pretty place, but it's nothing like Maui. And so last year when we were in Hawaii, the jewels were like, almost like this is a dump. And I mean, it was borderline disrespectful. We're like, these jokers are paying for us to be here. Like, we don't need to be complaining about anything. But they just were used to Maui. And so they were, kind of like, this is not really as nice as what we're used to. And I didn't understand it because my frame of reference was only Kona, being in Kona, Hawaii. And so this year, now being in Maui, I totally got it. I was like, oh, that's why they were complaining, because it was magnificent. The Grand Wailea, which is a Waldorf Astoria hotel, it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, I just want to thank you guys again for kind of giving me that time to be with my family. It was really special for me to have my girls there. I will not be bringing my girls on a regular basis. A, is too much schoolwork they have to make up for. And B, it's just a different trip because you're focused on your kids and you're not really focused on mingling and being with a lot of the jewels during that time. So yeah, it was it was just an amazing trip, honestly, the trip of a lifetime. So really glad to be back home, glad to be back in the swing of things, was really excited about the special that they had going. You guys have blown it up. We've added over 100 ambassadors this month and lots of silver promotions. Jennifer, I hope she gets on here. She went silver today. Danny went silver today. Super excited for you. Let's give her a shout out with our hands. And lots of other promotions I think are coming. So just really excited for the growth of this team and everybody just really putting their nose to the grindstone and working it. The one thing I want to tell you guys is when you've done this as long as I have and you've been consistent, which is why I talked about consistency or the Tuesday tip today, really honestly, you don't have to look for people anymore. People totally come to you. I'm about to sign my third ambassador for the month, and all three of these individuals, amazing people that I've known and had in my life for a while, and I really introduced them to Plexus some time ago, but they're just now getting started. And so if you just continue to be consistent and educate, be consistent and follow up, people will begin to come to you. You don't have to go to them. And I'll be honest with you, I did follow up for a while, but then after a while, when they told me they weren't ready, I was like, okay, well, whenever you are, I'm here. And when they were ready, they came. So that's the beauty of doing this business the right way, where you're truly just wanting to help people, where you truly are not trying to pressure people into doing something that they're not ready to do at the time, because timing is everything. It really does make a difference. So don't feel like your work and your building of relationships is in vain, because it's not in vain. Because first of all, it's not in vain because God calls us to be in community with other people. That's A. So we need to always be wanting to connect with others, okay? Regardless of what's the end game, right? But the second thing you need to remember is that every single time I've connected with somebody, almost every time, they always end up coming back, because the good thing about what we do here is that we're providing something that's life-changing for people. We provide a solution to people's problems, okay? And that's the most important thing. All of that has to do with belief, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. So, but the purpose of this particular call, it was specifically for those individuals who asked for me to draw their name in the sand. These are individuals that really, they made a decision that they are ready to take their business to the next level. Some of you guys don't really know what that looks like right now. And so it's my job to really kind of paint cast the vision for you and paint the picture for you, so you really see what it's going to take. Do I absolutely believe that it's possible for many of you on this call to be jewels next year? Absolutely. Is it possible for every single one of you who makes the decision that you're going to do it to be jewels next year? All 37 of you on this call, 36 excluding me. Yes, I think it's possible. There was a jewel at in Maui just this past couple days. I won't name her name, but there's lots of jewels that have dozens and dozens of jewels. But she came last year. Last year she wasn't even in Hawaii, and this year she came back. She came to Hawaii for the first time with 6 jewels. Her first year to come to Hawaii, she came up with 6 jewels. Another good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, she has 22 jewels on her team. So is it absolutely possible? It is. But you have to make the personal decision that you're willing to make the sacrifice. That's the biggest thing. Most people aren't willing to make the sacrifice. It's hard work. It's not easy. You got to be willing to make the sacrifice. You've got to be willing to have the accountability, because bottom line is this business is easy to not do. It's easy to find other things to fill up your time. And so you've got to have the belief. You've got to have the commitment. You've got to make the sacrifices, and you've got to have a big enough why. Because if you don't have a big enough why, your excuses are going to outweigh those things for you to not commit to getting to the bottom of why you're doing this, getting to the root of, hey, this is why I'm doing this. I was so desperate for a change in my life that all the excuses that I had, they weren't as big as my why. Your excuses are always going to be bigger than your why if your why isn't strong enough. So that's the reason why we always talk about dig deep to figure out your why. Why do you really want to do this? Why do you keep coming back to team calls? Why do you continue to hop on live videos? Why do you continue to post on Facebook? Why do you continue to share with people? Your why has to be big enough. So this little sheet right here, if you were not on your phone, or if you need to have another, if you didn't print out the document, you need to be looking at it on your phone or your computer or something. So whatever device you're not on, you need to be looking for this. I first want to, because I know there were a lot of questions about how to fast track Emerald and what this sheet means. Okay. So the first thing is, this is starting from literally ground zero, starting with you being a brand new ambassador and you needing in your first month to add 3 people. So let's just say it was Jennifer. I don't know if Jennifer's on the call, but since I can't see her, we'll use her as an example, because I don't want anybody to think I'm picking them out. So let's just say it's your very first month and you've gone silver this month. Okay, so look at month 1. The points that you would accumulate in your first month would technically be 15 months. Now, we all know that when you go silver, you're not getting points that month. You're getting 3 new ambassadors. So you're getting paid on the business building bonuses, and you're getting paid that rank advancement bonus for going silver. But technically, after that first month, you would get 15 pay points, because remember, each level 1 that you add is 5 points. So 5, 10, 15, 3 people is 15 points. So that's the number of new ambassadors in your first 3 levels. So your first month goal is to go silver. Okay. That's 15 to 22. And they say resultative 22. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what that means. We'll get to something more important in a second. So go to month 2 where it says 16 to 22, okay? What this means is, and the reason why the numbers range is because this whole document is based on you possibly adding levels 1 through level 6s, okay? Now, you and I both know that in the beginning of your business, you're probably only going to go about 3 to 4 to 5 levels deep. It depends on the person. When I went Emerald, I had probably 470 people on my team. 300 of them were active. So I had literally had 300 level 1 through 3s that were active. So my organization was super wide. I had added all these people, and I had a couple of business builders that were building under me, but they still weren't building deep enough for me to be getting levels 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s. Does that make sense? So essentially, I was getting 3 points. For your levels 1 through 3, you get 5 points. It's not 3 points. I was getting 5 points. So for all those 300 people, I was essentially getting 5 points for them. So the math for me to get to Emerald was super simple, because all I was doing was counting by 5s, right? But if you build a deep organization, or you start stacking people, which I never ever recommend you stack people until after you get to Emerald. So if you're stacking people under someone else, or you sign up your mom or your husband or something like that, I didn't even start building under my husband until I got to Emerald, well into Emerald. I didn't even start building under my husband until last July, or this past July. So what I would really encourage you to do is try to grow as wide as you can. That's going to build a very strong foundation in your business. Okay. So, and you also want to build super wide because you want most of your points to be 5 points. Does that make sense? You want most of your points to be in levels 1 through 3. So if you look at month 2, that's the reason why it has a range of points, 16 to 22 points, because one of those people that you signed up in month 1 when you went silver, it could be somebody that they start blowing and going, and they sign up 3 people, then that person signs up 3 people, then that person signs up 3 people, and now you've got level 3s and 4s. Well, at level 4, you start getting 4 points. Does that make sense? You're no longer getting 3. I mean, you're no longer getting 5 points per person. You're now getting 4 points per person for your levels 4. You get 3 points per person for your levels 5. 2 points per person for your level 6, and 1 point per person for your level 7s. Levels 8s and on, you don't. Like, I've started getting level 8s now. I don't get paid at all on those individuals. So you have to go wide, okay? But again, this particular document is based on you adding all levels, because for all practical purposes, that is how a lot of people grow their business. It's just not how I grew my business. Okay. So it says you should be adding 4 ambassadors in your first 3 levels. Okay. So those 4 ambassadors that you add in your first 3 levels, okay, that is 20 points, right? And then you would have those 15. They have a resultative point estimate. I know you're thinking, well, shouldn't that be 35, Robin? Well, they're making it 32 because they're making the assumption that there could be somewhere that you may not be adding level 1s, 2s, and 3s. Does that make sense? That's the reason why the number's 32 and not 35, okay? So I don't want y'all to be confused about this, because this is all based on approximation of you adding people that aren't necessarily always in your levels 1 through 3, okay? Now, month 3, you have 23 to 32 points. Again, that's a range. You have 5 ambassadors in your first 3 levels, okay? Now, if you continue to go down, it's saying how many people you need to be adding each month. So 5 ambassadors, your levels 1 through 3, 7 ambassadors, your levels 3, month 5, 10 ambassadors, month 6, 15, month 7, 23. Now look at what happens each month though. This is a very idealistic way to look at how you would grow your business. It may not look like this exactly. You may start growing faster early on. You may grow a little bit slower, but in order for you to track it in 12 months, which again, you have to realize we're doing this call at the end of September. So you technically have 10 months to go emerald, okay? So one thing I want to note here is, let's just look at month 7. You've got 23 ambassadors in your first 4 levels, okay? Those 23 ambassadors you add in, it's not 23 ambassadors total, it's 23 ambassadors you're adding in month 7. See how each month it goes up in the number of people that you're adding. Why does that number go up every month? Because if you are working this business the way you should be working it, you honest to goodness should be leading with the business. You should never be signing up somebody and you not be talking about the business opportunity. That may not be the reason why they first reach out to you, if they came to you about, Plexus. And most of the people that come to me, they are not coming to me about the products. I had one ambassador here last month that signed up for the business. And they want to get healthy too, but they signed up for the business specifically. That rarely happens when people flat out come to me. When I cold message people though, 9 times out of 10, I'm leading with the business, okay? That's how you build a team of business builders. So that's how you get duplication happening. Some of you are thinking, well, I don't understand how I go from adding 23 to 33 to 49 to 72. You do that if you sign some business builders. But the only way for you to sign business builders is if you're actually talking to people about the business, okay? It's so important that you're talking to people about the business. It doesn't mean you have to shove it down people's throat, but I can guarantee you this. There are more people that have financial ills than there are people that have health ills. More people are laying their head on their pillow at night, worried about their finances. That is a fact. That is not an opinion, okay? More people are laying their head on their pillow at night, not able to go to sleep and not get restful sleep because they're worried about their finances. They're not worried about their high blood pressure, their high cholesterol. I'm telling you that right now. So we offer a solution to 2 of the biggest issues in this country, health ills and financial ills, okay? We offer a solution to that. So this is one of the biggest things I want you to take away from this call. If you truly are drawing your line in the sand and you're ready to take your business to the next level and you truly do want to be in Maui next year, no matter where you are, silver, gold, senior gold, ruby, no matter where you are in rank, the number one thing you have to understand is you have to do daily income producing activity every single day. B, you have to literally talk to everybody. You have to talk all the time. And C, you have to be leading with the business. You have to be leading with the business. It's so, so important. So that's how you see these numbers go up every single month. You should not have multiple months. And this is where I'm talking to some of my leaders who are gold, senior gold, ruby. You can't have a consistent goal of adding, we're going to add 25 people this month. And then 5 months later, you're still trying to add 25 people. You guys, that means that you're not duplicating. That means that you can go find some wholesale customers, but you're not building a team of business builders. And when you build a team of business builders, that's when you're going to see your business start to take off. Okay. So this is how you break down Fast Track Emerald. Okay. What you need to do for your own personal business is these are my suggestions to you. The first thing you want to do is see where are you at. Okay. So if you are a gold ambassador and you're pretty much, a typical 100 pointer, you're not really going over 100 points. You're huddling right at 100 points all the time, hovering in that area. If you're at 100 points as a gold ambassador, you obviously have to add another 1,400 points because you have to have 1,500 points to get to Emerald. Do not think about it. Some of you are already like, I'm just going to totally check out because I don't even have 15 points. So there is just no reason for me to even be listening to this chick anymore. Do not do that. Do not short circuit your journey because you think it's too daunting and it's too overwhelming of a task. I was once silver. Okay. I started out just like everybody on this call. But what you need to really understand is that you've got to work backwards. Okay. So the first thing you need to do, if you are at gold, we're going to use the gold person as an example. You're at gold, you're at 100 points. Then you need to figure out, okay, how am I going to get to senior gold? To get to senior gold, you have to have 250 points. To get to gold, you have to have 100, just so everybody is on that, we're on the same page with that. You have to have 100 points. To get to senior gold, you have to have 250 points. That essentially means that you need 30 more people to your team. When you go gold, you essentially have 20 people, 20 levels 1 through 3s, okay? And when you go senior gold, you have to add 30 more people to have a total of 50 people on your team, okay? So what that means is when you add those extra 30 people, you need to break that down in the appropriate time frame that it will give you a window of time to get to Emerald by July 31st, okay? July 31st, just so everybody knows, is the cutoff date for you to make the Maui trip, okay? So it's not like you have the whole year of 2018. You have until July of 2018. The reason why they cut it off in July is because the company obviously has to prepare for getting flights for people, rental cars, making sure that their numbers are correct with the hotel because they pay for all of that, okay? So they have to know all that information at least a couple months ahead of time. The trip is obviously in September, so they have to know by the end of July. So let's just say for argument's sake, you're gold right now, okay? And I need to write this down so I can make sure that I'm telling you the right thing. So if you're gold, okay, you're at 100 points, and you need to get to senior gold, which is adding 30 more people. You need to be at 250 points. Honest to goodness, you probably would need to add 30 people in 1 month, okay? Now, to add 30 people in 1 month, that means that you need to have at least 4 to 5 people on your team who are building, okay? You cannot go add 30 people by yourself in 1 month. It is possible. People have fast track gold before. They've gotten 20 people. But I'm just telling you, you're going to burn out real fast if you feel like you're going to get 300 people on your own. It's honestly not possible. You're not going to go get 300 people on your own in 10 months, okay? So that's why I'm saying you've got to lock arms with the right people. That means your mindset has to change about the type of people that you're looking for, okay? You need to be looking for the right people. So now is the time for you to really start using some strategy. Okay. If you up until this point have just been casually sharing with whoever sees your pink drink in your hand, or you casually just talk to people who say, hey, what's that sitting on your desk at work? That's not going to cut it. That's a great way to spread the good news of Plexus, but you have got to get strategic about making your Franks list and writing down those dream teamers. Okay. And telling those people that they are your dream teamers. It is super important for you to do that. and continue to cultivate the relationship. One thing that I've learned just by talking to so many Juuls over the course of these 2 years that I've been a Juul, and even before I became a Juul, I was friends with some Juuls, is that bottom line, at the end of the day, the Juuls that make it to the top of this company, meaning diamonds, they were absolutely relentless. I mean, no joke. They talked to anybody. They prayed specifically over people. Like, if they knew that the girl from college, that she was the it girl in college and everybody knew who she was, and even if that person didn't know them very well, but they were friends on Facebook, they would go into prayer specifically. A lot of these Juuls, like, name the people that they want on their team. And they don't name them and say, oh, I hope pie in the sky that it happens. Like, they pursue those people. They send them samples. They are consistent with them. Like, so many stories that I've heard that and now these people are the top leaders on their team. They're the Juuls on their team, which is what got them to diamond. And so it's so important for you to understand that getting out of your comfort zone and having that accountability is so, so important. I would not lead you astray. Nobody wants Juuls on this team more than me. And I say that simply because that's the sign of true leadership. It's one thing for me to be able to lead you guys and for you guys to be engaged and for you guys to be motivated and working and you're dreaming big. All of that's well and good, and I love that. But I do not feel like I will have done my job until I have every single person. If all 48 of you on this team drew your lines in the sand, I know only about 38 people asked to get their names drawn in the sand. So you're saying that you want to get to Emerald by July 31st. But let's just say all 48 of you want to, maybe just not in that time frame. That's fine too. I will not be satisfied until every single one of you are Juuls, because I know that it's possible. I know that it's possible. So if you were gold and you had 100 points, you needed to add 30 people to get to senior gold. That means you would be senior gold by November, because we have to essentially start our goals for October since September's over, correct? So if we're starting in October, that means November, in October, you would have had to add 30 people for you to lock in senior gold by November, okay? If November you are senior gold, then let's just say December and January, okay? Let's just say in December and January, those 2 months, you are going to add another 50 people, because that's what's going to get you to Ruby. So to jump from senior gold to Ruby, you have to add 50 people, okay? That means you're going to have a total of 100 people on your team. So let's just say in December you add 25. The only reason why I'm saying that is because December is kind of a slow month because of Christmas. Let's just say in January you add 25. That means by the end of February, and I'm doing some hypotheticals right now, so hopefully you're not writing this in a really nice notebook or something, because this is not etched in stone. So let's say by the end of February you lock in Ruby, okay? So if you've locked in Ruby by February, that means you have March, April, May, and June. You've got 4 months to get from Ruby to Emerald, okay? And to get to Ruby to Emerald in 4 months is kind of a challenge. It's a bit of a challenge, okay? But, because it took me, I think, 3 months to get from senior Ruby to Emerald, and I was on a pretty fast track, okay? So from Ruby to Emerald, if you only have March, April, May, and June, that's 4 months. That means you would need to add 200 people in 4 months, okay? Those 200 people in 4 months, the reason why I stop it in June, guys, is because you have to get all the people that you need in order for you to get points by July. Now, again, guys, this is not accounting for attrition, and this is not accounting for anybody that's over your level, above your level 3, okay? Because I'm doing all this math by you having 5 points for every single person. So just keep that in mind. So let's just say March, April, May, and June, you add 50 people. You're going to have to add, 50 people each month to get a total of 200 people. That's accounting for no attrition. That is possible. I know that one of our Ruby team here, Marquita, I think she may be on the call. I think her team is probably going to get to about 40 people this month, adding 40 people. So that is on track for a senior Ruby team, about 50 people, okay? So let me see what Lacey's saying. Let me see what y'all's comments are so I can speak to that. Based on these numbers, it is crucial we find business builders. Yeah, it's totally crucial. You have to. Now, you don't have to find business builders like that if you're just trying to cruise to, Emerald in the next 3 to 4 years. You don't have to, because the law of averages is that, with every wholesale ambassador that you sign, every couple or every 4 to 5, depending on how effective you become, will want to build a business. Okay. But that all depends on what your posture is, if you're talking the business to people, that type of thing. But if you're trying to fast track, you have to find business builders. And that's the main thing that I want to talk to you about before we end this call tonight is your belief, okay? The biggest thing that I want you to walk away from is, I want you to make a decision. Are you willing to dream a big dream? Any one of you, if you are not already senior gold, solid senior gold, it's going to be tough to get to Emerald by July 31st. I'm not ever going to blow smoke up anybody's tail on this team. I'm going to be honest with you and forthright. It is going to be tough for it to happen. Has it happened? Absolutely. I met a girl named Ashley Olsgaard at in Maui a couple days ago. She went from starting in February and she got to Emerald by July. February, March, April, June, July. 5 months it took her from start to Emerald. 5 months. So is it possible? Absolutely. We know it's possible. It just depends on what your level of sacrifice is going to be, how big your why is, and you totally stepping out of your comfort zone. Because when I was on my track to Emerald, I would talk to anybody. And I still talk to anybody now, but it was like I was on a mission. I was on a bona fide mission to help as many people get healthy and to help as many people see this business opportunity. And so I never stopped. I just kept running. I kept running until I got there. And so the biggest thing that's going to hold 95% of you back is your excuses and your lack of belief. It's what's going on in your head. Some of you, it's so subconscious. Some of you are very negative. Any little thing that goes wrong with the back office or an error code when you're signing somebody up, or, you just feel like people are ignoring you, you don't understand it, it hurts your feelings, you're on this emotional roller coaster all the time, that will stop you in your tracks. Like you will be literally dead. Like you're not going to move anywhere. So you have to get rid of the negative thoughts. One thing I do know is that there's life and death in the power of the tongue. Absolutely, life and death in the power of the tongue. And so in your mind, right, as a man thinketh, so is he. In your mind, if somehow subconsciously you think that you don't deserve this success, or if somehow in your mind you think, what am I going to do with all this success? I'm scared. I've never made $10,000 a month. I'm scared that my husband is going to be jealous of me because I'm having so much success. I'm scared that my friends are going to stop talking to me because I have so much success. I'm scared of whatever. If you have any inkling of doubt in your mind, you will not move forward. So you have to work on your head trash. And so what I want to propose to those of you, and I'm doing this call tonight, so all 38 of you that had me draw your name in the sand because you were able to put some skin in the game and talk about your why, talk about the sacrifices you're willing to make, and talk about what this opportunity, what getting to Emerald would do and impact your family, or how it would impact your family. I now want you to really, really focus on whether or not you want to run after this. And I don't want you to take this decision. I don't want you to make it lightly. I really want you to think about it. I really want you to pray about it. You only have to make this decision by the end of the month. So you've got several days to think and pray on this, okay? If you're one of those 38 people, you will be invited to be in a group that I'm going to be doing, okay? The group is not going to be a simple group. I'm going to be asking you to watch videos. I'm going to be asking you to do certain things. I'm going to be giving you challenges. And it's not going to be anything that's not income producing. It's going to be things that are going to help you grow your business. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to require in that group is a book study called The Secret Code of Success. It is all about what's going on in your head. Okay. I have talked to you guys about positive affirmations for years now. I think it was maybe a year or two ago that I did What Do You Say When You Talk to Yourself book study. Amazing book. If you're new to this team and you have not read it, you really need to read it. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Okay. The number one thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to believe that supernatural things can happen in your business. I see it happen every day. What happened when I went Emerald was supernatural. I went up 500 points in 1 month. That was supernatural. That was not of the natural. That was a supernatural power. That was God intervening in my business. Okay. So I need you guys to really understand that this goal is not impossible. It looks impossible. But when you believe in the impossible, when you believe that God can do the impossible, then it can happen. But you have to believe that it is. And it's so hard because this takes high levels of faith. It takes you making a decision and saying, okay, God, I know that on paper, this don't even seem possible. Like, this is not possible. But you have to believe that there is a supernatural being that can help you do the impossible, because it is. It's so true. And the only way that you can do that is what's happening in between your ears, what's happening in your head every day. So if every day a negative thought comes out of your mind, out of your mouth, and from your mind and out of your mouth, you are short-circuiting your journey. I'm telling you. And people don't really understand that. And half the time people don't even think they're being negative. But if you are constantly, I'm not a speaker, or I'm not as pretty, or I'm not as intelligent, or I just don't know a lot of people, or my network is completely, washed. I've gone through my entire network. All those are negative thoughts. Stop it. You will not get to Emerald that way. You have to believe that you are a diamond in plexus. So what I want you to do is a couple things. One, I want you to pray about whether or not you really want to be in this group, okay? The next thing I want you to think about is if you're willing to do a book study, because the Secret Code of Success is a requirement. You have to do it. It's an amazing book, and it is really going to help you to get rid of the head trash. And I know that that's probably 80% of the journey. Besides you working your tail off and doing your IPAs every single day, the other big part of this journey is your belief in your mindset. That's it. That is it. The third thing that you have to do is get the Think Up app. You've got to create some positive affirmations. And this group is going to be so serious about positive affirmations that anytime anything that's ever has any tinge of doubt, negativity that's ever said on a group call or anything of that nature, I'm going to completely shut it down. No disrespect, but I'm going to completely shut it down, because you have to be about solutions in this business. You have to be willing to say, okay, I'm not going to complain about this. I'm going to try to figure out a solution. That's it. That's the only way you get to Emerald in 10 months. I'm telling you guys, been there, done that. So I do not want to scare you guys off, but I do really want to work with the people who really want this, because I do not want to go back to Hawaii next year without having some amazing jewels on this team with me. I don't want it. I don't want to go back. I really, really, truly don't. What's the name of the book? It's called, there's 2 books. One is What Do You Say When You Talk to Yourself? It's a great book. It's a pretty easy read, but that's not the book that's going to be required. The book that's required is The Secret Code of Success. It's a navy blue book. I know that there is a PDF for The Secret Code of Success. I know that there's a PDF. I don't know about Audibles. I don't know a lot about Audibles, Lacey, because I'm always a paper, like a hardback copy person, because I like to highlight. But take a look. Go on Amazon and look for it. But it's called The Secret Code of Success. But I'm telling you guys, it's so, so necessary. I want to open it up for questions before we end the call tonight. I really want to be able to logistically tell you, yes, this is based on the sheet, or any questions that you have about the comp plan or anything. So I'm going to open it up. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question. Now's your chance. Any suggestions on how to lead with the business model of network marketing? Honestly, I think it starts with you making your Franks list, Nicole. You have to make an exhaustive list of friends, relatives, associates, neighbors, kids, friends, and you could say social media, service workers. The S could stand for lots of different things, okay? People who do your hair, nails, people who do your laundry, that type of thing. You need to make that exhaustive list. The reason why you have to make the list is because in your brain, you think you only know like 200 people or maybe even 100 people. But the average American knows about 437 people or 468. I can't remember, but it's in the 400s. The average person knows that many people. Okay. And so you need to write these names down, because the more names you write, the more your brain is going to come up with new names. Okay. So you need to write down every single person's name that you know. The other reason why it's important, for example, the 3 people that have joined my team this month, they're literally like random people from different parts of my life. So if you're only thinking about like what you're around all the time, like, oh, I'm always at work, so I'm going to name my coworkers. And if you're really active in your sorority, then I'm only going to name my sorority sisters. But you forget to add any of your kids' friends' names, kids' friends' parents' names. You forget to add any of your church members. You forget to add anybody from high school. You forget to add anybody. You're just really going to miss some people. Okay. And so it's super important for you to first make the list. Now, after you make the list, then Nicole, you need to go through and star the people that you think would be amazing business builders. And amazing business builders look many different ways, but you're looking for somebody who's disgusted. I was disgusted. People that you know, they're not happy in their jobs, but not people that just want to moan and complain about it. I don't want to say that loud because I don't even have any kids in the background, but they want to actually do something about it. So you don't want complainers on your team. You want people that are busted and disgusted, but they want to change their situation. Okay. That was me. And that was the reason why nobody needed to tell me what I needed to do. I just started doing it. I went and figured it out. I looked at YouTube videos. I stayed up late at night and I would read books and watch tons of videos and training calls. And that's how I figured this business out. So you want to find somebody who's very busy. Busier people, honestly, are better at this business because they know how to manage their time. So I know some of you may be thinking, oh, I need to go look at, Joe, he's broke. He needs a job. He needs another stream of income or something. And, he's in between jobs or whatever. That doesn't mean people that are not busy wouldn't be good, but people who are busy almost always tend to be naturally good at this because they do know how to manage their time because they've got a lot of stuff going on. So you want to look for busy people. You want to recruit up, okay? And this is where a lot of people have a problem because they're scared. And nobody wants to do anything scared. Nobody wants to get out of their comfort zone. But you need to reach up. So, for instance, I'll use Lori Flowers as an example. So I reached out to her about the business. I really didn't know her. We were our parents were friends back in the day, a long time ago, years ago. And I didn't know really anything about Lori, but I knew she came from good people. And I knew that Lori was kind of like a local celebrity in Atlanta because she was a big marketing guru person for a big radio station in the Atlanta metro area. So I knew she had a lot of pull. I knew that she had a big network. And I knew that stuff just from looking on Facebook. Okay. I didn't know any of this stuff because I was really talking to her like that. And so I reached out to her and I said, hey, this is Robin. I don't even know if you know who I am, but I told her how we were associated through our parents. And I said, I don't know if you've noticed, but, I have a really amazing business and I would love to talk to you about the possibility of you joining my team. I think somebody like you would be incredible at this. And I told her, I edified her. I told her why I thought she would be good at it. I told her she had a great network. I told her that she was great on social media. You have to say things that are true. You, Lori, oh, you're so sweet. She's like, I'm so happy you reached out. It's nothing but a blessing because literally I could have been like, this chick is a local celebrity. She is not going to even pay attention to my message. And this is what we do. This is the head trash. Y'all do it all the time. Okay. She's not going to respond to me. She doesn't need this. She's got a really good job. She's super busy. I'm not going to reach out to her. That's what people on this team do all the time. And not people on this team, people in this business. They do it all the time. And so instead of me living in fear, wondering and thinking, what would she say? I just voice clipped her. So I sent her like maybe 2 voice clips, told her what I needed to say in my 2 59-second voice clips. And she literally responded like maybe 30, 40 minutes later. We set up a time to talk. She signed like 2 or 3 weeks later. So bottom line is you have to reach up. I knew Lori would be committed. I knew she'd be a really great person for my team, and she's absolutely turned out to be. She's an amazing rock star on my team. And it's only because I reached out to her. Lori probably, I don't know, Lori can speak up. You can unmute yourself. Lori probably would not have ever done Plexus if I had not reached out to her. Okay. Faynetta either. She's another great example. Faynetta is somebody that I just completely reached out to on my own. And I honestly was just asking for referrals because I was building in the Houston area at the time. I had a growing team there. And so she lived in Houston. And so I reached out to her about that. So those are ways that you can identify people, either through wanting just to talk to them initially about what you're doing by asking for referrals. And don't go into it thinking I'm going to talk to her about getting referrals, but if she doesn't join me, I'm going to be pissed off. No, I just really went into the conversation with Faynetta wanting to let her know what I was doing. So if she knew anybody that was interested, she could send them my way. Okay, referrals are great. But ultimately, and thankfully, Faynetta was interested herself once I talked to her about it. And she's one of the biggest rock stars on my team too. So you just have to lead with the business, okay? The lady that I'm signing up in the next couple of days, I got all her credit card information. I sign people up normally on my own, guys. I get their information, I sign them up. And then when they start building a business, I show them how to sign up. But I don't go through them sign. That's what I'm telling you. You got to get people on the phone, or you have to sign them up yourself. So I got this lady's information today, and she's a really big community person. She's like over community liaison for our school district here in McKinney, and she is she owns a boutique, like a storefront. And she goes to like big vendor fairs and sells clothes and accessories like all the time. And she knows a ton of people. Well, she reached out to me about Plexus just a couple days ago. I was still in Maui. So when I got back, I said I would contact her. I did. And the business came up today. She said, hey, I need to get healthy. She told me why she wanted to get healthy, what was going on with her health wise. But of course I brought up the business. It's like, well, you've got a daughter, you got this daughter, what are you doing? What? And she flat out said, hey, I'm interested in doing this, And so I didn't back down because she's this big community figure and she's got this big successful boutique and business and everything, and shy away from talking to her about the business. I boldly shared with her about the business. And you guys have to understand, most of you are thinking in your head, well, Robin's bold enough to talk about the business because she's an emerald. She makes, a good bit of money a year. She drives a Lexus, all that. But no, I was doing that when I was gold, senior gold, ruby. Okay. The only reason why I wasn't doing it at silver is because I didn't know what I was doing at silver. I was still trying to figure it out. Wasn't getting on team calls, figuring it out from another emerald. So you guys, it is so important that you build with, that you lead with the business. Nicole, did that kind of answer your question? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, that answered the question.
It did?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, I was just, I don't know. I was just so focused on the products that I know I wasn't leading with the business.
Well,
so,
in the beginning,
people have a negative stereotype with network marketing.
Okay. Well, okay. So it sounds like you are trying to figure out how to deflect like negativity about network marketing. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. So what I want you to read is I want you to build some belief in network marketing. I want you to read the 4-Year Career, but before you read the 4-Year Career, because you're going to have to read the Secret Code of Success if you're going to go into my group, so you're probably not going to read the 4-Year Career anytime soon. I want you to go watch The Rise of the Entrepreneur. It's a YouTube video, and it's important for you to watch. It's really important for every single one of you to watch it. Because if you watch The Rise of the Entrepreneur, it's 45 minutes by Eric Worre. It's on YouTube for free. Hopefully it's still there. If you watch The Rise of the Entrepreneur, you will soon understand that what you're offering to people is a gift. People want to say that network marketing is a pyramid scheme, that it's a scam, that it's, it's illegal. That pyramid schemes are illegal. This isn't a pyramid scheme. And what people don't understand is that pyramid schemes are illegal because it's when you say you're offering something that you're really not offering. That is not Plexus. We offer an amazing comp plan and we offer life-changing products. The other thing that people don't understand is that Plexus is very different because we don't have to have inventory. A lot of these other companies, you have to hold inventory. really strange, bizarre article going around about a legging company where, you have to invest $6,000 in these leggings to start your business. And then there's a lot of negative publicity about this company right now because before, if you didn't sell your products within a certain time frame, all this inventory, then the company would buy it back from you. Okay. And they would buy it back in full. Okay. Well, now they've changed the game and they've said, no, we're only going to buy back a certain amount and you're going to get a restocking fee and all this. And people in an uproar about it because they changed the rules midway through the game, right? And so, which rightfully so, they're upset. It's not right, but it is a business, so it is what it is. But those are the types of experiences, Nicole, that you probably have people who think negatively about network marketing. That's their perspective. So it's our job to educate them, okay? So you have to get bold, confident, and convicted about network marketing too, which is why I'm saying go watch The Rise of the Entrepreneur, okay? If someone is saying, hey, I want to go open up a Dunkin' Donuts. Well, it's going to cost them $450,000 to open up a Dunkin' Donuts. You can start a Plexus business for $34.95. So which one makes more sense to you? I mean, that's a very simple, honest question you can ask people. If someone says, hey, I really want to open up a shop, or I want to start making my own jewelry. Well, I love jewelry. I'm always wearing like cute earrings since I got my ear fixed, and always wanting to, buy new accessories, that type of thing. Well, how long do you think it would take for me to make these earrings? And how many tools do you think I would need to make these earrings? Okay. But then I would still have to go and compete with all these other big box retailers that sell similar earrings. And how much do you think I would make on these earrings based on the time and effort that I'm putting in to make the earrings? It just doesn't make sense. Plus, the biggest thing that you need to understand, Nicole, about how this is very different from any other business opportunity is that network marketing provides you residual income. And Plexus provides a very different type of residual income because we do not have, we have a very highly consumable product. We're not selling eyelashes. We're not selling jewelry. We're not selling candles. We're not selling leggings. We're not selling monogram handbags. We're not selling anything of that nature. We're not selling skincare. When someone goes and buys a Pampered Chef kitchen tool, or someone goes and buys a pair of leggings, or someone goes and buys a pair of earrings from Stella & Dot or Origami Owl necklace, okay? How many necklaces are they going to buy that's from Origami Owl? They're going to buy one. And they're not going to come back every month for a new necklace. They're too expensive, and they're not even in style anymore. So bottom line is people are only going to purchase something that's not highly consumable one or two times, and then you run out of your customer base because your network is pretty big, bigger than you think, but it's only so big. Does that make sense? So it's just super important that you equip yourself with the knowledge about network marketing and how Plexus is so different. So just start going on YouTube, search videos, how Plexus is different, network marketing, Plexus network marketing, that type of thing. Or just go watch The Rise of the Entrepreneur. You'll get everything you need through that video. Okay, one last question that we're going to end. Anybody? Okay. All right, guys.
I was trying to come off mute, Robin. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Renee.
Okay, I wanted to ask, in what was the main differentiator between the folks that you met in Maui? What was the differentiator between timing? I know everybody got to Emerald, but what was the kind of the average? What would you say if there was an average timing? What is the average timing that you've seen for the folks that have made Emerald?
Oh, girl, it's varies so much. I mean, the average person, when I started Plexus, I mean, it was honestly 6 to 12 months. Now it has taken a bit longer, I think, for people because more of the average person like me is doing Plexus. And I think in the beginning it was just right for this area because Texas is the most highly concentrated area for Plexus, okay, because of Celeste Gwen, because she lives here and she's the top earner in the company. But so I think that it was just a perfect storm for that group of ladies, okay? All those ladies came from the same college and they all knew people that were kind of in the same demographic. And so they all knew a lot of people that $100 disposable income was nothing. So their businesses grew faster because it was nothing for them to go say, hey, let's go get healthy together, spend $130 on your health. And people would do it for 5, 6, 7, 8 months, even if they weren't taking the products consistently, because they had disposable income like that. Does that make sense? Well, those people are now all the top jewels in the company, right? But now going into this, I'm 4 years in, now I'm seeing people that they're more average people like me, you know, where it's like, I know people who $100, $120 a month, even though they're middle class, you know, people live paycheck to paycheck. 78% of people live paycheck to paycheck, period. That's a fact. And so when you're working with a demographic of people that $100 isn't necessarily just quick disposable income for them, then it's going to take you a little bit longer because you're going to have more attrition, that type of thing. So everybody varies, girl. It really just depends. I definitely wasn't taking a poll while I was there, but I've talked to so many jewels over 4 years and so many jewels while I was just in Maui alone, that everybody's journey is so, so different. So don't try to compare yourself. Truly, comparison is the thief of joy. Just you be on your journey. And guys, what I have failed to mention to you is that you should not walk away from this call thinking, I'm not going to make Emerald by July 31st, so I'm not even going to try, because that would be dumb. You know why? Because if you run hard after this and you don't make Maui by July 31st, guess what? You'll be Emerald by the end of 2018. Hello, right? I didn't make Maui by July 31st of 2015. But you know what? I made it in August of 2015. So I didn't make it in July in order to go to the first Hawaii trip for myself that was in Maui in 2015. But I made the trip in 2016 because I went Emerald the very next month. So what I would suggest to you is, if this is something that you want, guys, the starting and stopping and the quitting and then starting back up, it kills your momentum, and you literally, it's like you're pulling all this dead weight because you're starting and stopping so many times. It's so much easier for you to make. It's a graphic on the team page. Just keep scrolling a little bit, Demetrius, and you'll see it. And I just printed out the graphic. But bottom line is, if you draw your line in the sand and you're ready to do this, you've just got to run hard after it, and don't completely. It's not going to crush you if you don't make it by July 31st. But you're going to be that much closer to getting to Emerald. And so being Emerald by the end of 2018, even if you don't make it by July, that still gives you another 5 months to get to Emerald by 2018. And that is a huge, huge accomplishment. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm so glad that so many of you are really committed and you're ready to take that next step. I will be contacting each of you that drew your line in the sand, and that I wrote your name in the sand, and see kind of where you are, if you're ready to go take the next step to be in this group. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and God bless you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.